race fans, and welcome to round 2 of the ARC Championship Series. Here at Fuji, I'm joined in the commentary booth by...
My Savaloy, how are you doing, Lateral?
I'm doing great. And as I just mentioned, we are here at Fuji Speedway, here at the base of Mount Fuji in beautiful Japan. Speaking of Fuji, let's have a look at the track map here. We have the long start-finish straight, which leads into the aptly named first corner, a very tight hairpin with a very hard and long braking zone. And then we have a little kink after the first corner, which leads into the Coca-Cola, a very fast left-hander, which leads into the little very long and very tire-killing 100R. Then again into the hairpin corner, out of the hairpin, short straight to the 300R corner, and then hard into the Dunlop chicane, not to be confused with the Dunlop chicane at Cirque du Sarth, which then leads into the 13th, to Nets, and into Panasonic. Let's have a look at our drivers for today. We have Defiant 195 and Lemon Pen in the Lexus RCF, representing Pegasus Racing. Matt Wing and Bauk 21, who has since changed his name to Kev Meister in the Toyota Supra. Dan's 303 in Chilled Nom Nom in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Thomas Mr. TT and Alex Rogers in the Porsche 911. Defcon AC and Kobu GT in the BMW M6. CRubennnn and PG Vaporo in the Volkswagen Beetle. Dark Reef Slark and PKMZ in the Mercedes AMG. And let's have a look at our points from the first round. We can currently see our current leader, Lemon Pen, with 50 points, followed by Ruben in second with 42, and Bauk 21, now Kev Meister, with 35 points. Those are your top three for the drivers' points. Looking at your constructors, we see the team Bugging Beetles currently leading with 67 points, followed by Pegasus Racing with 56, and Toyota Red Bull Racing with 39. So, Save Loy, what do you expect to see for this today's race?
I'm expecting there's going to be loads of dive bombs in the first corner on the first lap. No, this track is very grueling, very physical track than what it was at Dragon Tail last week. Tough on the tyres, especially got the 100R. That's going to really hurt the front lefts. Follow 10, 14 and 15, the next corner, that's going to hurt the front right. And then again, the Panasonic corner, hurting the front left. So it's really going to hurt the front tyres in this race. Maybe drivers opt to go for maybe a 1, maybe a 2 pit stop strategy. But we'll find out. But it should be a entertaining race, and I'm looking forward to it.
Should definitely be entertaining race. I would expect to see some of the cars like the Aston Martin's very strong here, especially with that very long start-finish straightaway and a lot of very fast corners. But the Aston Martin does tend to suffer from understeer. So we could definitely see the tire wear, as you mentioned, coming into play here as we're just starting qualifying up here. So I'm going to wait for some drivers to head out on track and start their flying laps as the lobby gets set up here. But as you mentioned, I think one of the more interesting corners in the track is that Dunlop chicane towards the end at the start of the third sector. It's a very hard corner, and we could definitely see some passes on the inside, but it's very easy to lose that pass as the corner immediately switches back to a left-hander. So we're going to see some interesting moves, especially in that last sector. That last sector in general is very difficult. A lot of very wide corners, but with a lot of very tight and precise apexes. So seeing the drivers get them right is going to be important, especially here for qualifying.
Sorry, what was that? Your mic was cutting out a bit there. Sorry.
I was just saying that that last sector is going to be very important here for the here at Fuji.
Yes, it is. Lots of tight, twisty corners. And it's also an incline as well. At the start of the Dunlop, you'll just start seeing the track inclining. Before when you go to the first corner, you see it's downhill as well under the brakes. But yeah, definitely the third sector of the track, very tough, demanding. Dunlop chicane, as you said, very good overtaking opportunity. As well as you could see as well for the Panasonic corner, because some drivers will probably take a wide entrance going into Panasonic and then try and hit the apex to get a good exit off the turn and then onto the long straightaway, which is just less than a mile long, I believe it is. So yeah, very grueling, tough, physical, demanding track back there. Also the last third sector.
Alright, well, here we have some drivers coming around to start their flying lap for qualifying. A couple drivers leaving the lobby due to connections, but coming back in so they have time to set laps. On board the Kobu GT, the driver who we saw at the first race make a very big mistake at the exit of the Kraken on Dragon Trail. Leading the way here at Fuji, I do believe you did some interviews with some of the drivers, and I believe you said Kobu was one of the drivers looking forward to this race at Fuji.
Yeah, he says he wasn't a particular fan around Dragon Tail. He's not. He didn't like the Dragon Trail tracks at all. But he says he prefers the Japanese tracks. So this is the first of 3 stops that we're heading into Japan. This is the first one. You've got Suzuka next week, and you've got Autopolis later on in the season. But he says watch out for him. He could have great pace around these Japanese tracks. He could be a dark horse here for tonight.
He very well could be, as again he's on his flying lap heading now towards Hairpin. One thing to note for this qualifying session is a lot of the drivers are very close together. We see Kevmeister there, the former Belk, as I mentioned before, picking up a 9/10 penalty, almost a second penalty. But a lot of the drivers not very spread out here. Do you think it's that they're trying to maybe catch the coattails of the car in front of them for that very long straightaway?
I think that's definitely a case. I think a lot of the drivers want that slipstream when they leave Panasonic and then onto that long straightaway. It's definitely going to be a factor in qualifying.
Alright, gonna go back and look at Kobu here as he heads towards through nets. I'm gonna head towards Panasonic for the end of his finished flying lap, excuse me. PKMZ almost right up on the back of him, so PKMZ right behind him will get that draft on the front straightaway, and I do believe PK will take that fastest lap from Kobu just because of that fact. So let's go on board with him as we will see him do another flying lap as they cross the line. So we will see the times in just a few seconds.
Well, 35.89 for Kobu. PK's gone a lot faster. He's in the 37s, isn't he?
Yeah, the Lazima driver is already in the 37s. So very fast from PKMZ. A bit of lag there from PKMZ, but he's not one to typically lag. So going back through your drivers right now, we have PKMZ on pole by just over 1.15 of a second. Dan Studio 3, the former champion, in second. CRubennnn in third, and Kobu GT in fourth, and Thomas Mr. TT currently in fifth.
Just noticed there, looking at Dan's there, had a little bit of a moment on the exit of the first corner, also known as Daichi. You don't want to be touching on that AstroTurf. That car will spin you out. That corner will spin you out, as it's just like racing on ice, that isn't it? The AstroTurf.
The AstroTurf for every car. You get on the throttle and the car will just go around. Fuji is one of those interesting tracks where the runoffs are paved, but there is a strip of grass or AstroTurf between the track and the paved runoff. So dipping a tire on the inside or going a little bit wide on the exit of a corner could cause your car to spin and lose lots of time. It's one of the more interesting and difficult tracks because of that. It's not just strictly paved or gravel traps. So drivers have to be very careful to avoid track limits here.
Yeah. Also, the last corner, Panasonic, that they're going at now. You see that bit green on the exit. There's also AstroTurf there, so that will also spin the car out as well. I think a few cars going at the pit lane. Thomas looks like he's heading in, or he's just letting Dan say goodbye.
I think that might have cost Dan's a pretty quick lap there. That last corner, more specifically, as he did have a little bit of a moment on the exit. But I don't believe he expected Thomas to make a pit stop or let him go by, so I believe he might have had to check up a bit and lose a bit of time there, as his time is again 5/10 down on his faster lap. PKMZ still leading the way, the driver who did lead most of the race in Dragon Trail, but decided to go for a 2-stop strategy, and that cost him in the end of the race.
Just noticed there, Chilled Nom Nom, a guy that I spoke to as well. He said he's coming into this race with no practice whatsoever. He's just went to 6th, but he's just lost that now. He's down to 7th. So 3 laps into a track he's had no practice with is pretty good going.
Yeah, it is. It's a very good track, but again, as we mentioned, this track might simply suit the Aston Martin. It's a very quick car in a straight line, so he is quite gifted in the car lottery that he got the Aston Martin, the car that they did want. So looking farther back in the field, though, we do see Gr3 still having a bit of an issue with his connection. Defiant, Tier B champion, currently in 10th. Matt Wing in 11th. PG Vapro in 12th. And 13th, we have Kevmeister, the former Bauk, yet to set a good lap in that Toyota Supra.
He did suffer a penalty in his first time lap, I believe. I did notice on your screen that he did have a penalty. I wonder if he actually shortcutted the Coca-Cola corner, because that's very easy to do.
Yes, as we mentioned, Coca-Cola, very fast corner, very easy to hit that apex, but it's also very easy to take a little too much of the apex and quite easy to pick up that penalty. He's on an outlap now, so he did make a pit stop after that first flying lap, so when he starts this lap, he should improve from that 13th position. Currently, Defcon AC, a driver who I don't know if he had a lot of practice here on Fuji, currently in 14th. Teammate 2, Kobu GT, who's currently in 6th place, as Alex Rogers now is currently on pole with a 137.7, bopping Lemon Pen for that first place.
Yeah, Alex was showing great pace there. One thing that is also surprising me as well, he's just went even faster there, 137.585. One thing the Porsche is not really good at is the straights. We know now that the Porsche is not very good on the straightaway. Alex Rogers was quite concerned about that, but he says that he's looking forward to it. He says that the straight is a worry, but the rest of the lap does suit the Porsche quite well, and as long as he can pull away in the last sector and have a decent gap on the straight to anyone lurking behind us, then he should be okay. But so far, it's looking good so far for Alex on the pole at the moment.
And he's currently going faster in the first sector by just under 500ths. But Alex Rogers here showing he means business, even though he's in a car, as he gets a little squirrely at the exit of the hairpin there that cost him his flying lap. But Alex showing he means business. But again, one thing to mention is that Porsche not very strong off the line.
It's not very good off the line. I mean, I raced that car in season 1. I couldn't get the handle. Like, I couldn't even get the start as well. Even if I qualify like 8th or 9th in season 1, by the end of the first corner, I was like down in 13th. I just couldn't get the handle of that. But there's some certain way, and to get the Porsche right off the start. And Obama, who used to race in this league, used to get the jump perfectly, and I think Alex is starting to learn off that. We've seen Alex in the first race in Bathurst, and he was took pole position in his first race, and then by the end of the first corner he was like down in 6th as he heads into the pits. But then as the race is gone, I think he was getting into the fact that he was learning to get the jump on the Porsche perfectly. So, but the only concern I would say is that Mercedes at PK, since he's third on the grid. I wonder if there's going to be a little bit of tactics, because we know that the Mercedes is good off the line. Do you think Alex will concentrate on the start, or maybe looking in the rear to see what PK's doing, so he won't get passed on the start?
I think Alex knows his weakness of the Porsche is the start of that off the line. So I do believe he's not going to fight too much in the first corner, just kind of wait for drivers to make mistakes or make their pit stops. So I don't believe he's going to fight too hard, but I do believe PK will take the lead again from the start of the race over Lemon Pen if they can qualify it where they currently are. That Mercedes is just absolutely fantastic off the line. We saw PKMZ again in the first race absolutely dominate until he decided to go for that 2-stop strategy, which cost him. And now he knows that. He knows the 1-stop strategy is the current way with the current tire wear settings. So I believe the strong one here might be PKMZ.
I think it could be. Yeah, I spoke to him after a few hours after the Sunday race, and I said, "You had that race in the bag. It was all yours until he made that second pit stop." He says he's definitely going to be looking after those tyres, and I'm just looking at Kev Meister picking up another penalty. But yeah, going back to PK, he says he's definitely going to be looking after those tyres for this race today.
Another driver we haven't seen too much of, I was going to show off PG Vaporo, but currently has a 3.6-second penalty as he makes a pit stop. So I guess we won't see too much of him. But Kev, as you mentioned, Kev, another penalty. Do you think he's trying too hard to just gain as much time as he can here?
I think it's the pressure because it's his home. It's Toyota's home track. It's their backyard. So there could be some elements of nerves that Kev's in the Toyota. The pressure's on him. He's the guy with the most podiums so far in the history of TRA. He's looking for a 7th podium, and this will be his 10th race. So yeah, I'd imagine there will be some pressure, literally due to the fact that this is Toyota's backyard.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Currently sitting 8th, but has a lot of room to improve. As we get the notification now for 9 minutes left in qualifying. But another driver we saw qualify very early, Tobu GT, as you mentioned the driver earlier, who said he was looking forward to this track, currently sitting 9th place.
I just noticed that his teammate Defcon has gone 5th. First fastest lap of 1:38.071. So, you know, Defcon out-qualified Kubu in the first race, and it could be happening here again. And what we're saying about Kubu was, you know, he could be a dark horse to win, to do well here. He prefers the Japanese tracks. So far, he's just less than a second behind the pole, but more annoyingly, he's like half a second slower than his teammate.
Very difficult. That I think do you think it could be that BMW M6 just here at Fuji? The M6 is a very solid car all around, but the rear end of the car is very easy for it to kick out. So you think he's maybe struggling with the curbs here?
I think it's a case that there's some parts of the track that you shouldn't hit the curb. Like coming up to Coca-Cola right now, you should there. That was fine. But I think it's like the first corner Daiichi, the car gets a little bit upset when hitting the curbs. This corner right here, 100R, that's also a tough corner for the BMW. Because to me, it feels like it understeers a bit too, the BMW.
As typical as most front-wheel drive car, front-engine, rear-wheel drive cars here in Gran Turismo Sport, typically understeer, but are usually very easy to drive as compared to a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car of the Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh,
as we were just saying.
He went off. He ran right at the Dunlop. He was 3/10 faster than his previous lap, and I noticed he ran very wide in the first Dunlop corner, and then just made a mistake in the turn 11, I think it was, and the back end just went around.
We're going to go on board with Thomas Mr. TT, a driver who is about to start his flying lap after another pit stop here. Currently he has his timing up, so we can currently see his optimal time is a 38.1, which would put him towards the front of the grid, especially compared to his teammate. Do you remember from the first race here at Dragon Trail, did Thomas out-qualify his teammate Alex?
I think Alex was ahead of Thomas, I believe. I think
I think Alex qualified 6th. I think that was Alex's worst qualifying. I think Thomas was 7th.
Okay. But one interesting thing to note about that session, that qualifying session specifically, is Thomas took a long time to get that lap in. For most of that qualifying session, he was towards the back like he is here. So maybe he's just one of those drivers that come in towards the end of qualifying to get that lap in.
Possibly. Again, speaking to him, he's a guy that's really not looking forward to this track. He was already expecting damage limitations as well. He knows that the Porsche is not good around here. He's not like the talent with Alex behind the wheel. But Thomas was saying he's hoping for a mid-table finish. Anything above that would be a huge bonus to him. So Thomas knows he's coming into this with not a lot of hope.
Alright, well, with roughly 5 minutes remaining in qualifying, let's look at our current standings. We have Alex Rogers currently on pole position by just under 3/10 over Lemon Pen, who is in 2nd place, who is just under a 10th ahead of PKMZ in 3rd, who again is just under a 10th of Ruben in 4th, again under a 10th in front of Kevmeister, again under a 10th in front of Dance, and this just goes on through the rest of the field until we get to 7th between Defcon and PG Vaporo. So the top 6 here, all super close.
Just looking at Kubu, he spun again on the exit of next corner there. Definitely struggling in that BMW. He wished he'd opted to go for the Nissan.
I'm sure he does. The Nissan we have known to be one of his more favorite cars. But again, as a driver we haven't seen a lot of, PG Vaporo. He was in that battle, that 4 or 5 car battle in the midfield for that 6th place. I do believe it was at Dragon Trail. He himself is a very strong driver. His favorite car is the McLaren, as once again he does go into the pit lane. By currently sitting 8th in that Volkswagen Beetle, with his teammate currently sitting 4th.
Yeah, Vopsy was the best of the rookies. We've got 4 rookies in this race: Vopsy, Kobu, Defiant, and Nom Nom. Vopsy drove a very smart race. I think he was saving fuel when he was in that incredible battle with the Astons and the Porsches, and you know, when it came to the pit stops, he didn't put a lot of fuel in, whereas the others did, and he jumped ahead of a lot of them. And he went on to finish in 5th place. So you know, definitely two drivers in that team there that could win the drivers' championship. Constructors' championship if Vopsy nearly loses at Coca-Cola. I've lost what I was going to say now. Fudge.
Well,
I completely forgot. I was just focusing on him getting sideways.
Well, we can move on to a new topic as Kevmeister now does qualify up in 5th place with a 1:37.9. So finally moving up in the field as we pointed out before.
He's actually gone a lot faster than what he was intending to in the Discord chat. He was worried as anything. He said he can only hit like a 38.3 or so. So he's found 4 attempts somewhere.
As what usually happens in qualifying sessions, we can watch these guys all week in a practice lobby, and they'll be a, as you mentioned, a 38.3, and then all of a sudden qualifying comes along and they gain roughly half a second. I've had it happen to nearly myself when we ran the endurance event for Cirque du Sarthe. My fastest lap that weekend was fastest lap I'd ever done was like a 3:58.9 for that event. And all of a sudden in qualifying, I almost broke into the 56s out of absolutely nowhere. So sometimes qualifying can just bring that extra little bit out that you need, and Kev here finally finding that.
Just looking here through this qualifying again. Oh, has Alex gone faster? He has. Alex has gone faster. 1:37.369 as he just entered the Daichi. So yeah, Rogers looks like he means business tonight.
He really does. He's not happy with that qualifying session that we saw. That Dragon Trail, 6th place, as you mentioned, his worst qualifying session so far of his entire time in Tier A. Finally showing that he wants that pole position. He wants to hold the record for pole positions, and he is absolutely giving it here.
He is the most driver with the most poles so far. If he keeps that, it'll be his 4th pole in, I believe this will be his 7th race.
That's a very good record.
That's a good stat to have, isn't it?
As again, he's still purple, almost 2/10 up on his time as he enters the last sector, the sector that would favor that Porsche. So we would expect him to improve again, as Lemon Pen, the other driver, has improved, but he does pick up a penalty. So I don't know if Lemon Pen will finally be able to improve or possibly take that pole position from Alex Rogers. So Alex Rogers might possibly lock out that front row.
Stay with Rogers, because he could get a good slipstream off Kobu as we're heading into Panasonic. Good exit off the turn and then up through the gears. Tries to stay in the slipstream. This could be a low. This could be like a 1:37.1.
We're gonna see here as he heads towards the start-finish line, going by the pit straight. 37.342.
37.342.
So he does improve, but not by too much, but it's still an improvement as qualifying does come to its closing stages. Lemon Pen
went faster in his last stint, 37.7, sorry.
So we might see him go a bit faster, but his tires are quite worn. I don't know if he'll be able to improve. I don't know if there's that much time left in qualifying.
There's 5 seconds left.
Will he be able to cross the line before qualifying is up? No, he's going to go into the pit lane.
He's going to pit lane.
One driver we haven't seen is PKMZ here. We haven't seen him too much. Currently a driver with only one wheel on his car for whatever reason. Gran Turismo Sport has some bugs sometimes. But currently he's not currently improving on his time, but currently sitting 3rd. CRubennnn picking up a penalty towards the end of qualifying here, but currently sitting 4th. Kevmeister in 5th, won't improve. Dan303 heading towards the line. He might have time to start another lap. It depends, we'll see. Nope, if qualifying is over, Dan will not improve.
Not unless
he does improve!
He didn't improve to 2nd. He must have came across the line up before. Yeah, he
would have.
Time lap before.
So Dan303 will take 2nd place here at Fuji.
Wow, and that was his 12th lap as well.
Dan's showing why he is the Season 1 Tier A champion as he qualifies 2nd place. Defcon AC and Kobu GT will finish 6th and 7th respectively in the BMW M6, but Kobu might improve here as he has one flying lap. Will he do it? No, he will improve his time, but he will stay where he is. PG Vopro will hold that 8th place as Thomas Mr. TT, Alex's teammate. Currently going to finish
having a fun time in Daichi.
Yeah. Going to finish 9th. Defiant 195, the Tier B champion, will come across the line in 10th. Chilled Nom Nom in 11th. Dark Reef Slark, in 12th. Matt Wing in 13th. And I believe Kevin Meister would have qualified higher, but he decided to enter the pit lane. So with how Gran Turismo works, if you go back to the pit lane, it does reset your time, but your time still stands. So he would have qualified higher, but he's not currently 14th. Just remember that.
By my reckoning, he should be 6th, just behind Rubennn's.
Okay, so that would put Defcon and Kobu down into 7th and 8th. Okay. But Alex Rogers here at Fuji taking the pole position by 3/10 in that Porsche 911. Very good qualifying session from him. That, as you mentioned, his 7th pole position, a record 7th pole position here in Tier A.
No, his 4th. It's his 4th.
4th, my bad.
His 4th in 7 races, yes.
Okay, that is my fault. But again, as we mentioned earlier in the qualifying session, that Porsche will be very slow off the line. Dance 303 in 2nd, Lemon Pen. PKMZ back into 4th. The Mercedes very strong off the line. So will we see PKMZ take the lead at the start of the race here?
Definitely. If you think going back to the practice race at Alsace, he started 6th. By the end of the first corner, he was leading. So if I was Lemon Pen, Dan's and Alex, I'd be looking in those mirrors and see what PK's doing, trying to block him to prevent yourself by losing that spot to PK.
All right. We'll be back with you soon for the start of round 2 here at Fuji. Don't go anywhere, as we'll be right back. Okay, and here we are for the start of the final, the ARC Group 3 Championship, Tier A, Season 2, Round 2, here at Fuji Speedway. Will Alex Rogers hold his pole position and take the win here for Season 2, or will Dance 303, or Lemon Pan, or PKMZ, all drivers who could easily win here today, take that win? We'll wait for the lights to go on here at Fuji. All the drivers currently on the grid as 1 light, 2 light, 3, 4, 5 as we wait for them to go out, and we're off here at Fuji. Looks gonna be like a very good start from Dance 303 as he goes all the way around the outside of Alex Rogers. PKMZ will follow Dance 303 into the start, into first corner here. Lemon Pen all the way up the inside of Alex as well. Alex losing a lot of positions at the start of that race. PKMZ up to 2nd, and Lemon Pen up into 3rd. Looking farther back in the field, we see Chilled Nom Nom going very wide at the start of the corner. On board with Ruben now as he is in the inside of Kobu GT for that 5th place. Gonna watch as Ruben will go through 100R, hold that 5th place. Gonna look farther up in the field as we still see that 4-car battle for the lead. As Dance 303, PKMZ will dive up the inside of Dance.
Oh!
Maybe a little bit of contact there, but they seem fairly clean. Dance will hold the position. Lemon Pen now see Ruben as Defcon AC will spin and go all the way to the back of the field here. Let's see if I can get a replay on that. We're going to see him going through 100R, going towards Hairpin. Let's go on board. Let's see what happens up in the back. Just a lot of hard braking. Will he just lose the rear end? He does. He will lose it completely on his own. As we're going to go back on board with the leaders now. We still see Dance 303 leading ahead of PKMZ, Lemon Pen in 3rd, Alex Rogers in 4th. And there's almost a train of cars fighting for that 5th position. as we see Kevin Meister right on the back of Defiant. Very good start from Defiant, moving up into 7th while still competing against the rest of the field here. Very close racing on the first lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan's made a great start there. I thought PK would have been leading going into the first corner, but no, Dan's held his own. Alex there definitely losing out, started being in 4th position, but here they come then into Daichi for the second time as we see Lemon Pen makes a move on PK. Looks like he's got it.
I want to just
One tried, they want the exit, and PK's got 2nd place back. But yeah, entertaining start that was there. I didn't see who was the guy that was spinning there. But yeah, Defiant great start up to 7th. Kobu up into 5th place. He said, watch out for him. He could have great race pace, and definitely showing it right now.
Yeah, I was just trying to show out that Kobu did make a pass on Ruben into turn 1, as Kev is currently falling back down the order, currently all the way down to 10th, serving his penalty as they head into hairpin now. So not a very strong start from Kev, struggling here as Gr3 with a 1.2 second lead over Lemon Pen in 2nd, who is only half a second ahead of PKMZ, who's trying to hold off Alex Rogers as they go through the Dunlop chicane, as there might have been a bit of contact between CRubennnn and Kobu, as now that will cause Ruben to lose a position to Defiant.
Yeah, Defiant, they've been opportunistic there. Defiant says, thank you very much, Ruben, out of your 6th position, but already under severe threat from Ruben, because Ruben wants that 6th place back.
Yeah, so now is a 4-car battle once again for 5th place here at Fuji, with Kobu leading that pack ahead of Defiant and Ruben and Thomas, Mr. TT. We do see, trying to get the camera here, Alex Rogers still right in the back of that Mercedes as they head on to the start-finish straight, but we will see when the gap does come down, so the Porsche does benefit from the draft here on that strong start-finish straight ahead of the Mercedes, as we do see Alex Rogers closing right up to the back of PKMZ. He's going to dive to the inside into the first corner, really be able to get that move done, hard on the brakes, and he looks like he's going to get it done.
Wow, that's surprising there. I didn't expect the Porsche to be that quick, but here comes PK. He's going to go on the outside and the Coca-Cola.
Right, but they're still side by side. Alex will have the inside through Coca-Cola. And he gets it done.
PK
Just gets it done.
Aggressive move on Alex there. Leans on PK and he gets the 3rd place there. Goodbye.
But all this is done, all this fighting is done as Lemon Pen and Gr3 to break away, as there's now a 2-second gap between 2nd and 3rd. Are going to go back on board now with that, still that 4-car battle as CRubennnn and Defiant go side by side towards 300R. We see CRubennnn possibly go for that pass as the PKMZ. We see looking for a move. Defiant holding the inside, going defensive. Defiant, driver known by a lot of the drivers here in Tier 8 to be a very, very difficult driver to pass. He makes his cars very wide as he possibly can, and not too many passing opportunities here at Fuji.
Yeah, defending this position very well there, and going into Dunlop. Yeah, to keep someone like Ruben behind. Oh, Ruben a little sideways off the exit of the nets. But yeah, Defiant, you know, we didn't see a lot of them in Dragon Trail. We've definitely seen a lot of them in this race, and it's good to see.
As we're going to go back on board leaders, as we see Lemon Pen now within a second of Gr3, so just barely has a slipstream, not quite. He's just outside of the time gap for it, but the gap is coming down. We might see Lemon Pen possibly take the lead of the race. As we see PKMZ now going to the inside of Alex Rogers, not quite going to go for that. We see Defiant still holding the inside from CRubennnn and Thomas Mr. TT behind in the first corner, but we see CRubennnn go for the undercut on the exit. Yes, he is currently ahead, but Defiant will have the inside for Coca-Cola.
Defiant, they're 3 wide. I thought they were 3 wide there. No, I thought Ruben being a bit aggressive there.
Defiant taking a very tight apex. Get the car wide. Yeah, he will get a penalty for taking that line. So he will have to serve that penalty as soon as he can. So he will lose out of this battle, but it won't be too much, I don't believe. But see, Ruben and Thomas Mr. TT are now fighting for that 6th place, with PG Vopro and Kev's now starting to join that battle.
Defiant's just not moving out of the way, and he's causing a bit of a traffic jam behind him.
Well, he had to wait for a straight line to get that penalty out of the way, and he gets one now. He will serve it. He will fall back behind Kev Meister, who goes for a dive on a PG Vopro, but there was a bit of contact there. Let's see if we can, again, get a replay of that as we see them head towards, go through 300. Let's go on board with him, as we're going to see now, just from behind Kev, go for that pass. A little bit of contact, quite a dive bomb, but he will give the position back, but Defiant now will take that 9th place from Kev because of it.
He's got it. No, Kev's got the speed off of Nets, and he will hold on to that 9th place. But yeah, that's unexpected of Kev to do a mistake like that.
He might have possibly been caught out by the braking zone at PG Vopper, or possibly the draft of the Toyota. There's quite a speed difference between the Volkswagen and the Toyota, as we see Defiant now possibly going to look for a 3 wide going into turn 1.
Wide.
As you see the power of the Aston just pulling on the Lexus, and now on the
He's
Toyota.
Gonna get 2 cars in 1. He's going to get 2 cars in 1.
Really, he's hard on the braking in turn 1. Good triple pass by Chilled Nom Nom for 9th place.
Hello, Mr. Nom Nom. Welcome to TRA, son.
As we see Kev now going to look at the inside into Coca-Cola back on Chilled Nom Nom. Will he get it? He's going to force Chilled to take that outside, but he will hold it. Great defending by Chilled Nom Nom.
Kev got a little bit sideways on the exit of the Coca-Cola, but he's got it on the inside here, and he might take the position. But
oh, Chilled Nom Nom will lose it. He will dip a tire into the grass, and he will spin it.
Oh, Nom Nom, you made that sensational pass. He went from 0 to 0.
As we do see the now 2 Beetles now side fighting for that 7th place behind Thomas Mr. TET. But again, I want to showcase the leaders now. 6/10 between Dan's 303 and Lemon Pen. We could possibly see a change for the lead here as they head towards, through Panasonic towards start-finish straight. Will we see that Aston use its top line speed to break the draft from Lemon Pen? There's still half a second between them. Will we see possibly Lemon Pen close that gap?
It's looking a bit, it's going up a bit. I just noticed the 11 Pen went a little wide on the exit of Panasonic and got 2 tyres on that AstroTurf, so he would have lost a little bit of time there.
So the gap does come down towards the end of the straight. The Aston Vero still very good on acceleration, able to get the power down and throttle. As looking back for third place, we do see PKMZ, excuse my camera work here, and Alex Rogers still fighting for that 3rd place. As they're still side by side now through the exit of first, but Alex will hold the inside for Coca-Cola. Will he get a penalty? Will he take it too deep? No, he will not. PKMZ will fall back for the 4th place. Doesn't want to keep fighting and lose too much time. As we do see Kobu GT just in the back of the shot. So Kobu GT now looking very strong here in Fuji.
Yeah, he's definitely saying what he was saying to me on the Discord chat there. Watch out for him. He is pretty good around these Japanese tracks, and he's definitely right here on course for yet to be his best finish so far in TRA. And
that's now Lemon Pen now within 3/10 of Dan's Field 3 as they go through Dunlop now. And Lemon Pen can hold that gap. You might possibly see him make a move on the inside here on the last sector, possibly through Nets. Will he make the move?
It's a difficult last sector here. So it's because there's elevations up there too. Going through Nets there. That's when Dan's a little loose there. Then the Panasonic again, wide entry going into it, hit the apex on the exit, and then get the power on. And then this is the opportunity here. Lemon is definitely closer than what he's been before.
Yep, definitely is. He has the draft. He's all the way up in the back. The Aston slightly pulling because of the draft, but now the Lexus will pull back in. Will we see a move into turn 1? See the gap, 3/10, almost 2/10 now. Not quite close enough to go for the move. No dive bomb pass into first. Will hold 2nd place.
I'm wondering if Lemon is doing some strategy here. I wonder if he's trying to save some fuel in the process while he's in the slipstream of Dan's.
It's quite possible. We go for a shorter pit stop strategy. Most of the drivers I would expect to go for that 1 stop. Lemon Pen currently now with the fastest lap of the 37.5. So Lemon Pen definitely on a tear here in Tier A. Is looking at the inside of Dan Spear 3. Not quite going to get that move done. But may go for the undercut through the exit, and he gets the undercut. Will he take 1st place? He does currently have the lead, but they're going to be side by side. No, they're not. Lemon Pen will hold 1st place, but will he be able to hold it going into Dunlop? Dan's is all over the back of him. Will we see Dan's go for that dive bomb pass?
No, not just yet. I think that's too early. Yeah, he could make a pass on the start-finish line. We know that Aston is quicker than the Lexus, so I would expect Dan's to make an attempt on the straightaway.
I think the note PKMZ did manage to get by Alex Rogers for that 3rd place, and now PKMZ moving up that position. But back to the battle here at the lead. Will we see Dance03 use the
Oh,
power of that?
PK's gone off. PK's won extremely wide in next corner. Sorry to interrupt you there, but he won extremely wide and he's lost that third place and he could lose fourth to Kobu.
Let's see what happened here. Back on board with the replay. Let's see. Does he just go very wide? He misses the braking zone. Oh, he dips a tire and he manages to control it. Very good driving control from PKMZ to hold the rear end of that Mercedes.
That's his Arabic drift style, isn't it?
Dance03 still within half a second of Lemon Pen, but not being able to gain on him. Will we see PKMZ? Yep, he will get that fourth position back from Kobu GT on the start finish straight, but now Kobu GT on the back of PKMZ. There's almost a three-car battle. PKMZ will almost lose it, but he still holds it.
That's the Arabic drift, isn't it?
Wow. We see Kobu GT possibly go for the undercut. They're side by side through 100R, but not quite. PKMZ will hold it. But now the more PKMZ and Kobu GT fight, the more Alex Rogers will break away in that third place. So a battle now, not only for the lead, but that has slowly gapped out. A battle for third and fourth as they're side by side at the exit of Hairpin, but PKMZ will still hold that fourth place as they head towards Dunlop. We'll look farther back in the field whose drivers we haven't seen. CRubennnn currently in 7th, Thomas TT in, CRubennnn in 6th, Thomas TT in 7th, as now Bauk in 8th and PG Vopro in 9th. As you see Chill Nom Nom back in 10th from that spin we saw earlier, fighting with Defcon and Defiant for that 10th position. And then farther back in the field we have Matwing in 13th and Dark Reefed Slark rounding out the rest of the field.
I was just going to say to you before you cut to Lemon Pen, he's actually extending that gap now, 1.5 over Dan's. Maybe the Aston is struggling on those tyres now.
It's quite possible, but now we see Kobu GT in the back of that Mercedes. Will he get the draft to possibly go for a move into turn 1? We will see. Let's go on board with Kobu as he possibly closes that gap. Now 4/10, almost 3/10 now. That draft very strong for that BMW. PKMZ will go defensive into first. Makes his one move. He stays, holds that defensive, but we see Kobu GT go for the undercut. PKMZ very wide.
Oh, he's struggling. PK is struggling, and he said to me that he doesn't favour this Fuji track, and it's definitely showing here. As you know, what could have been a potential podium finish is falling down into 5th. Kobu makes the pass of Coca-Cola and up into 4th position.
Great job by Kobu GT here, up into 4th place, making up for his finish at Dragon Trail after hitting the exit of the Kraken and costing himself that mid-place or mid-pack, possibly even higher finish. Again, moving back, farther back in the field, see CRubennnn now gapping out as we see Kev now in front of Thomas Mr. TT. There's a bit of a gap there, so it may have been a pretty big battle there, which caused Thomas Mr. TT to fall back. PG Vopro in 9th, going to go back on board with this battle for 10th. We see Defcon AC and Defiant battling for that 11th and 12th positions respectively.
And Defiant still defending his 11th place going into the Dunlop corner there. Defcon, we've seen Defcon and we've seen him in practice. He was up there and oh no, he was the one that spun out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was he the one that spun out? Yeah, okay then. So he's recovering. Bit of a disappointment there, Defcon. We have seen the potential of Defcon being up there in the field, but you know he's been involved in 2 incidents. One that he spun out the Dragon Trail, and here and again. But looks like he's going to make a pass on Panasonic.
Not quite close enough. But do you think Defcon may be struggling with that BMW M6? I guess we mentioned it qualifying the M6. It's very easy to spin the tires and lose the rear end of it. We saw that happen to Kobu once in qualifying. We've seen it happen to Defcon twice now in both races of the season too. Do you think they're struggling with that M6?
I don't know. I think Kobu's. I think it's just the case that they're getting on the power a bit too early. I think that's the main thing. Defcon lost the Dragon Trail where he got on the power, and then that's when he spun around. I don't know what happened to him in this race or on the first lap, if he got on the power a bit too early or if he got hit from behind. But Kobu, it qualified, and it looked like going in the corners, he got the power on a bit too early. Hence why he spun the tyres around like a Dunlop, and he did it next corner a few minutes afterwards. I think it's they'll learn that just don't put the power on a little bit too early.
Right, as we did see Defcon going by Defiant, now a 1.5 second gap between them, so Defcon definitely on a hard charge here, trying to close up to the back. Chill Nom Nom Lemon Pen currently with a 2-second gap over Dance03, who has a 2.5 second gap to Alex Rogers in 3rd. who has a 4-second gap to PKMZ and Kobu GT, still fighting for that 4th place.
We must have missed it then, when we were on board with Kobu, he took that 4th place and PK must have passed him somewhere.
Must have happened, but now we're going to see back on the start-finish straight. We will see the power of the M6 close back up to PKMZ at the end of the straight. We're going to go wait for that to happen, as we still see Thomas GT and PG Vopro still fairly close to Kevin in 7th. So still a 3-car battle for that 7th place. Going to go back on board with PKMZ. Yep, Kobu GT up on the inside of PKMZ. Will gain that 4th place on the inside of 1st. But he goes wide, a little bit of a tire squeal there. His tire's starting to wear down now, possibly pushing too hard. But he will still have the inside for Coca-Cola. Will he be able to hold the 4th position?
Giving him a lot of berth there. Oh, and he does. Good job there from Kobu. Yeah, it's very easy to, make a mistake in the first corner because you're downhill and you're braking as well. If you ride on board with someone, you can see a slight decline when you're going into the first corner, and that's very difficult. And we've seen a few drivers out-braking themselves at Daichi.
Yes, it's also very, because you mentioned it's off-hill, but it's also slightly off-camber. So that outside tire doesn't quite get all the grip it needs to get the power down, so it is very easy to get that wheel spin. But as we're on lap 11 of 27 now, I almost lost track of the time here. Lap 11, as PKMZ gets a little squirrely as he takes a little too much curb, so he's going to fall off the back of Kobu GT, which is going to cost him on that start-finish straight. But a lap 11 of 27, we were expecting pit stops around lap 13 through 15. Most drivers going to go for that one-stop strategy.
PK again, a little wide on the exit of nets too. Just noticing here, Alex Rogers is starting to close the gap a bit on Dan's. I did see it was about 3.2. It's now down to 2.1. I mean, obviously Dan's in that Aston, it's definitely quicker than Porsche, but Alex is definitely catching Dan's.
As Alex Rogers definitely on a hard charge here. He did qualify on pole, as we saw earlier, but definitely going for it here. As let's look at the current tire wear for the field. One Pen currently our leader. His fronts very heavily, the outside left tire wearing a lot heavier, specifically because of this corner here, the 100R corner. A lot of wear, a lot of force being applied to that front left tire. Dan's looking actually a little bit more worse for wear on his tires. Alex looking a little bit better than Dan's. That might be why we see that gap closing as we do. Kobu GT with a fairly significant gap we see over PKMZ. Their tires looking fairly good. CRubennnn, once again, his tires looking absolutely fantastic. The Pirelli Picasso in full form here at Fuji. Kev looking not too bad on his tires as he gets a little squirrely at the exit of the hairpin. As you were saying.
I was just about, oh yeah, Vopsy just lost his 8th place there. He lost it on the exit of the Coca-Cola. Grabbed a bit too much curb and spun off and lost his 8th place to Thomas, and is now under a lot of pressure from Nom Nom.
Well, Nom Nom has gotten by PG Vopro, and Defcon's looking to go with him, the inside of Dunlop, but not quite going to get that move done. But Defcon's definitely going to look to try and get by PG as fast as he can to stay with Chill Nom Nom and work together, possibly close up to the rest of the field. But most drivers looking not too bad on the tires, but pit stop will be coming soon.
Cut back to Alex. He is now half a second behind Dan's. He's in the slipstream of Dan's as on the start-finish line.
We mentioned earlier, Dan's looking very bad on his tires in that Aston Martin, so it could be that his tires are starting to fall off, so we might see him pit possibly within the next lap with Alex Rogers using his better tire wear to close that gap to Dan's as they head through first. But now on the exit, Alex Rogers all over the back of Dan's 303. Will we possibly see him move through 100R?
It's possibly. That's one of the worst corners. Oh, here he goes. He's going to make it before the 100.
He's going to look for the undercut, but Dan's on the brakes. Had to get on the brakes to close tire wear. That's going to allow Alex Rogers to go up on the outside into hairpin. Will he go for the undercut on the exit?
No. He's going for the crisscross, is he?
Looks like he is, but Dan's will hold the inside going towards Dunlop. So we'll see how that works out for Dan's, as he does have the worst tire wear, so he'll have to brake earlier into heavy braking zone. Goes way defensive all the way on the inside.
Defensive. That's really going to hurt him here. That's it. No, he cuts him off there. I was just about to say that 100R is a very awkward corner. The first part of it is flat out, but then it gets tighter. So you have to go a little bit on the brake to get the car going and get yourself prepared for the hairpin.
I thought Alex Rogers was going to dive up the inside through nets there.
Look at that.
If Dan's was smart, I would have to say if Dan's was smart, he'd go for his pit stop now. His tires are absolutely dead. He might have to, I'd say go for the undercut.
You have to pit.
It doesn't look like he is.
He's staying out.
No,
he's staying out. That's...
He is. He's going in.
No, he is. He is going in. Oh, I think Alex was thinking about it. Or was he trying to get a slipstream?
I think he was just trying to get.
going in as well.
I think he was just trying to get the slipstream. So PKMZ, as you mentioned, is going in pit stops. As he does kiss the wall, does he pick up any damage from that? He does not. But PKMZ's front tires looking very low life.
Kev's also in.
Right. So as we
Kev's also in. Thomas is in. Vopsy's coming in. Chilled's coming in. Defcon's coming in. It's all happening in the pit lane lateral.
A lot of drivers, as we mentioned, just making their pit stops here at round 2 at Fuji. Will we see PKMZ taking just a little bit of fuel, but will he come out? He does. He does come out in front of.
Wow.
No,
wow.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. My bad.
No, he doesn't. No.
He does not come out in front of Dan's. Dan's came out almost 8.6 seconds ahead of PKMZ. I don't think the gap was that big when they made the pit stops, were they?
No, I think it was about 5 or so-ish seconds though. But you know, PK made a few mistakes, so it could have been not unless PK added a bit more fuel than intended to.
It's quite possible. It's the one-stop strategy here, so he did go for the fuel. So it's quite possibly the V8 and that AMG uses a bit more fuel than the V12 of the Aston, which is a bit counterintuitive, but that's how things work. But so we will see LemonPen and Alex Rogers and Kobu GT, possibly see Ruben, the top 4 drivers currently on track, making their pit stops. So we will see where they fall out. LemonPen, will he go into the pit stop? The gap to Alex Rogers did come down just at the exit of that one car alone. So we expect a pit stop for LemonPen.
Yeah, Lemon's coming in. Lemon is in the pits. Alex is coming in as well. So here we go. Get yourselves ready for the next 12 laps because this is going to get exciting.
One thing to note, Alex Rogers used a lot more fuel than LemonPen in that Porsche. I expect even more than Kobu GT. So I would expect a slightly longer stop from Alex and Kobu to make sure they get enough fuel to go to the end. So we will see LemonPen still come out in front of them. Very short fuel stop as CRubennnn still doesn't make his pit stop, currently leading the race. As,
well, we know what Ruben's like with his tyres, don't we?
Yeah, as Dan's 303. Now 4 seconds separate LemonPen and Dan's 303.
Yeah, by my calculations, Alex is now at least 5 seconds behind Lemon. But he's got to get by Dan's though if he wants to have a chance for the win. It's doable. 5 seconds is doable in 13 laps.
But still, only 2 seconds separate Dan's 303 and Alex Rogers. Alex Rogers, as we just mentioned, did have to take a slightly longer stop. But if he didn't have to take as much fuel, he might have actually come out side by side with Dan's 303. But 2.1 seconds separate them now. Kobu GT still in 5th, but battling still with PKMZ for that 5th place.
Kobu was a bit wide on the exit of Hairpin. They're trying to use all of the racetrack, and he's going to lose at least a couple of attempts or so. Here comes PK on the inside going into Dunlop. No, feints a move there. He's trying to fake Kobu out there.
Well, looks slightly back far on the field. Kev Meister in a solid 7th place right now. Thomas Mr. TT now battling the PG Vopro for that 9th place. So both Chilled Nom Nom and Defcon AC, who are still fighting on track, did lose out on pit stops to that PG Vopro.
And also Defiant too, he's down in 13th place now. I think he came into the pits to the 11th. He's down in 13th, so something must have happened there. Although he is battling a map ring, they're continuing their battle in the last lap of Dragon Trail.
Well, I was going to say that Defcon AC is all over the back of Chill Nom Nom, but he made a mistake going through 13th.
Ruben's
and now
in the pits.
Right, so Ruben's now making his final pit stop. So that means our leader is now at LemonPen, but the gap to Dan's 303 has fallen to 3.2 seconds.
I think Dan's is on, whatever mode he's in, he is on attacking mode. He is definitely closing that gap. But Aston certainly does look quick within a few laps once the tyre wear kicks in. It's not as fast as what the Lexus is.
That's for sure, as the gap now between Dan's 303 and Alex Rogers also has increased to 2.5 seconds. So Dan's definitely pushing to try and catch up to LemonPen. Kobu GT. CRubennnn now comes out of the pits right between Kobu GT and PKMZ. So now it's now a 3-car battle for 4th place.
Wow, Ruben's was on damage limitations. He wasn't looking forward to this race as well as many others here. He says he's expected to be finishing around about mid-table. I think the top 5 finish, he will happily take that, maybe 4th place, as Kobe goes awfully defensive.
It
but
goes very wide!
Dunlop.
He's going to lose 2 positions, both to CRubennnn and PKMZ, as he outbreaks himself into Dunlop. Allow CRubennnn and PKMZ into 4th and 5th, respectively. As they go through nets, will we see PKMZ possibly use the power of the AMG to go by Ruben through a Daichi? Or will we see CRubennnn go way defensive into turn 1?
That's Panasonic.
That's Panasonic there, yes, but I mean here on the straightaway.
Oh, you mean the first turn Daichi? Yes.
Let's see the gap. Will it come down? It does come down. Let's go on board with PKMZ as we see that gap close significantly. The power of that V8 and that AMG definitely just outpowering that whatever engine that BMW has, or Volkswagen, I should say.
He's going for it. It's a late lunge. He's having a big look. Rubens is giving him all the respect he can, and he's got him. Yeah.
Great pass, but PKMZ will hold that 4th place from CRubennnn and now Kobu GT. But now, looking at 7th place, Arc, Kevmeister, is only within 2.3 seconds of Kobu GT, so Kev's starting to make a slight comeback here in the latter half of the race.
He was a bit worried around this Fuji track as well. He said the Toyota, he says the Toyota is quite strong around here, handling wise, power wise, but you know, always went a little wide on a hairpin. But he's definitely closing on Kobu.
That is for sure. Going to go back and look at the gaps between the leaders. Alex Rogers did manage to close the gap back up to Dan's. It's now only 2 seconds, but Lemon Penn still only 3.8 ahead of Dan's Sphere of 3, so the gaps have slightly evened out now. PKMZ back and forth. Oh, they've actually closed it back up. Kobu GT has managed to close the gap back to PKMZ and CRubennnn, so there's still, once again, a battle for 4th place.
PK ran a little wide at next corner again. He's going to take
Kobu GT looking up the inside through Panasonic, but not quite going to get the move done. But how will we see?
Rubens will have the speed off the corner.
Will we see possibly 3 wide into turn 1?
Can we? Nah, I don't think so. I think Kobu and Rubens are a bit too far back on PK.
But Rubens still gets that draft.
Kobu's got that slipstream right, tucked underneath that Beetle.
Nope, he's just going to stay where he is, let the gap close for another lap, but wait to pick his move. KMZ goes a little wide through first corner, but now they're still all close together. And looking behind, we see Kev, the gap 2.3. So Kev is closing the gap now to 4th place. So we might see, once again, a 4-car battle for 4th place.
We've got a 3-car battle for 9th place between Nom Nom, Vopsy and Defcon. 2 rookies and an pro driver.
So Chill Nom Nom did manage to get back in the 9th. We saw earlier in the race that beautiful triple pass into turn 1, but lost it half a lap later.
A bit surprised here at Vopsy. We did see him have great race pace in the second half of Dragon Trail, ending up in that 5th position, but you know, he's stuck there in that 9th. Could possibly be his best result, could be a 9th place here at this rate.
Yeah, Chill Nom Nom again, one of the other drivers who was actually quite strong at Dragon Trail, but made a couple of mistakes which caused him to fall back. We see with these rookies, it's just mistakes. It's the consistency. It's not necessarily their pace. It's just being able to stay consistent and not making mistakes, which is what we're seeing fall them back down the order.
Well, we saw Defiant there running up as high as 6th position before he added a 1.5-second penalty. And again, like you said, they're just little mistakes here and there. If they can cut it out, they can race for the best of the bunch.
Definitely so. Looking farther back in the field, there is a battle for 12th now between Defiant and Matt Wing. Matt Wing, a driver who was in Season 1 Tier 8, but not too strong this season in the Supra. Definitely struggling.
Yeah, he did finish. I think he finished 12th the last time out, I believe. But yeah, he's not really suited into that Toyota yet. Maybe a lack of practice. I'm not too sure if he's got his actual PS4 fixed or he's still using his brother's PS4. But yeah, we did see Matt be very competitive in the AMG last season, but this season sort of struggling.
Gonna go back on board Dan's 303 as the gap between him and Alex Rogers now 1.2 seconds as they head into Dunlop. So the gap coming down towards a sector that favors the Porsche 911. Dan's 303 is the gap hasn't increased to Lemon Pen, but Alex Rogers has closed the gap to Dan's. So Alex Rogers now on the push here as they head through nets towards Panasonic. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I think Alex he's there. He's there on the back of Dan's. But if he wants to win this race, he's got to make a move on Dan's as soon as possible. He's definitely got the race pace. Out of the top three, he is probably the fastest of them three. But if he wants to go for the win, he's got to pass Dan's as soon as possible.
Gap still half a second now as they going under half a second as they head towards first corner. We'll see Alex Rogers looking for a move, but from way far back, he's not going to get that move done. But he did think about it.
He's trying to get Dan's to make a mistake. I think that's why that's why you see a lot of drivers trying to, move a bit to the right so that if they see guys ahead of them in the middle, see what they're doing, and then make a mistake. Forcing a mistake for them to go wide, and then Alex will take that opportunity and go into that second place. But it looks like he's getting close as we're going into hairpin.
Not quite close enough to make the move just yet. We're going to look back now on both Dan's 303 as we look behind. Alex Rogers now 2/10 separating second and third. A Dan's defensive into Dunlop. Will we see? We're going to see it. Alex going around the outside through Dunlop.
He's going to the inside.
Wow!
There's contact. Bit of contact. And
Alex will give the room, but he's going to let it.
Oh, more contact. Slightly bit of contact, and he's got him. He has got it.
What a fantastic pass by Alex Rogers going around the outside.
And now, like I said, he had to pass Dan's as soon as possible. And now,
get a decent
get yourself a replay here.
I'm trying to, but I think it's a little bit too far in the race. I was trying to get the pass on the outside.
Back, yeah.
But a fantastic pass by Alex Rogers, who now has Lemon Pen in his sights. But can he close almost 5 seconds in 7 laps?
Could be doable. It could be doable if the Porsche is quick enough in that third sector. Although, look at Dan's all over the Alex.
Late defensive move by Alex Rogers into turn 1. But he will hold that position.
Oh, Dan's a little sideways on the exit of Daichi. Flashes the lights. He saved it clear, I think. Yeah, he's clear. But they shouldn't be battling here. Alex should not be battling with Dan's. He should be pulling away from him and then try and focus and get that Lemon Pen here.
Lemon Pen very dominant here in Season 2. Won the first race after a pit, I'd say a pit mistake from PKMZ. Going for the extra pit stop. But Lemon Pen with a comfortable 5-second lead over Alex Rogers and Dan's 303. Let's go back and look at that 4th place battle on track right now, as there's roughly, it's still between PKMZ and Kobo GT, but there's also a battle for 6th place between Kev and CRubennnn, with Kev now in 6th place.
Kev just went a little wide on hairpin, but he looks like he's not lost any ground on Ruben.
A lot of 2-car battles on track right now.
Thomas there just having a casual drive by himself and Eve.
Gonna look back.
No one in front of him, no one behind him.
Gonna look back into 9th as we see PG Vopro gone back by Chill Nom Nom and Defcon.
Yeah, I think that's that's the only battle for 9th place between those guys. I don't think they've got 7 seconds to catch up on Thomas, so they're just having a battle between themselves for 9th.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. But a very close battle between these drivers. We see them passing back and forth a lot. Not too much camera time on them as we are looking at farther up in the field. There's a lot more closer battles. Like now we see Kobu GT looking at the inside of PKMZ into turn 1. It's back and forth between these two here at Fuji. Kobu GT very wide. PKMZ will have the inside, but Kobu once again have the inside through Coca-Cola. We expect him to hold at tire wear. Now towards the end of the stint, starting to maybe play a bit of a factor.
Shuts the door in PK's face there. And he said, was that a pass or did Kobu hold on to 4th?
I believe he passed him. Yeah.
Someone has spun. Look on the top right. Is that's someone in 13th? Or was that Dark Creek? Oh, that was Dark Creek.
Okay. Oh, there's a touch between Deathmine and Matwing as they go through turn 1. They're still side by side.
Defiant having a look on the inside of Coca-Cola. Not going to get it done.
Defiant definitely on a hard charge here to get by Matt Wing.
I'm just wanting to know if Defiant has that red number 5 there. He said to me on this, wanted the number 5, paying homage to Nigel Mansell when he was in the British touring cars, because he used to drive a red number 5. There's a bit of a fact for you.
We can always go on board and see if we can find it.
I've noticed that Matt Wing's front right light is smashed. There you go.
Well, there was a bit of contact earlier in the lap, so that might have been the result of it. He is running number 5, but it is not red.
Oh, that's disappointing.
We're looking farther up in the field once again. Dan03 and Alex Roger 1.2 separating them now, but PKMZ and Kobu GT and Kev only a second separating those 3 drivers, with CRubennnn still right on the back of Kev.
Yeah, we did see Ruben in 6th. I know he lost that 6th place to Kev there. I don't know where. We didn't spectate on where it was. But yeah, it looks like the 2 most experienced drivers that are having a ding-dong battle. Don't forget, them 2 were fighting for the championship in season 1. Just a shame that Rubens didn't show up for that last race.
I would have to agree. That could have changed, it completely changed how that championship could have turned out. But I do believe one of the weaknesses to the Beetle this season is the tire wear. We have
having a look. It's having a look. Sorry, they're going into Dunlop.
Kev wide. It's going to hold the position. But as I was saying, one of the strongest suits of the Beetle in the first season, specifically for CRubennnn, is I was able to do a 1-stop when everyone else would do 2 stops. But in this season, with the improved tire wear, we see a lot of drivers going for that 1-stop strategy and therefore negating the advantage of the Beetle.
Well, Rubens, we know how good he is on tyres. Maybe you should do. But no, we saw how good Rubens was with those tyres in season 1 and how he can last them. You know, as I said before, how dominant he was at the Nürburgring, how it was a pure masterclass that Rubens showed. But it looks like, you know, there's definitely going to be some competitions. I don't think Rubens going to have it his own way. Is he? Kev going defensive and Daichi. But yeah, I think ever since they've gone to the 1-stop strategy now, it's definitely going to hurt Rubens. But, you know, might not. We did see him finish 2nd last week. You know, Rubens also admittedly said this is a track that really doesn't suit him. It doesn't suit the Beetle. So, again, damage limitations this is for Rubens.
As both Beetles, not too strong up high on the list. Currently, the best position is 7th with CRubennnn. So we might see, we're definitely going to see some changes for the constructor standing. I would expect, honestly, the BMW is going to go up quite a bit in the constructors' points with the finish of Kobu GT.
Yeah, definitely. Kobu having...
As we see CRubennnn just making it. What kind of pass was that? Wow! I want to go on board with that kind of replay.
With that. I need to see this too.
Go
Dives to the outside. Dives to the outside.
He goes around the outside of him.
Kev made a mistake. He put a bit too much
yeah.
Yeah, he made a mistake. Good pass though. Very good pass.
Excellent pass by CRubennnn. Moving up to 6th place, we have PKMZ and Kobu GT in his sights. We're going to look farther back in the field for that 9th place as we see Child Nom Nom leading PG Vopro and DEFCON AC.
Good showing this here from Nom Nom, even though he's had zero practice on this track. So yeah, top 10 finish so far. That's still very good though for Nom Nom. 2nd place, I believe, in the rookies race, I think. Yes, he is.
Should score some solid points for that Aston Martin team. He was higher up in the list, but we saw a mistake earlier. So Chill Nom Nom definitely has that pace. It's just finding the consistency as we see PG Vopro overshooting that corner heavily. As we see a little bit of contact with DEFCON AC now.
Yeah, and DEFCON was saying, thank you very much. I'll take that 10th place off you, son. Anyone is just seeing, noticing on the chats there, anyone standing out for driver of the day? What have the people been saying in the comments?
A lot of people voting for Lemon Pen here.
Yeah, well,
Once again, we should put out a reminder. We are hosting a driver of the day. If you want to see someone win driver of the day, just let us know who you want to be in the Twitch chat. We will accumulate the vote. So far, Lemon Pen is currently leading the vote. Feel free to vote for any driver you see here today.
didn't you say before we went doing this race that some people voted for me?
Yes, CRubennnn, you have one vote from a CRubennnn.
Yes, and I'm not even racing.
It's still a very close 3-car battle for 9th. Lemon Pen, Alex Rogers, Gr3, all very big gap between them. Even now for, I believe, 4th place. Yes, that gap for 4th place has... What has happened to PKMZ?
PK! I just noticed that PK must have made a mistake somewhere.
It must have been a very large mistake which caused that entire group to break up on track.
He lost 2 places.
Not only did he lose 2 places, but he lost several seconds to Gr3, who he was fighting. So there must have been something very big that happened there that we didn't quite catch. Apologies for that. But disastrous result for PKMZ.
Yeah, PK's streak of not getting on the podium continues on now. He's not had the podium finish to his name yet, which is definitely surprising now that he's in his favourite car. But although in Season 1 he was driving the Alpha. But now he's in his favourite car. Should have had the win at Dragon Trail. And here he is struggling around at Fuji.
CRubennnn now in solid 5th place with 3.5 seconds separating in front and behind him. Gr3, a driver we saw make a very heavy mistake, again, at the Kraken on Dragon Trail. Currently sitting in 4th, so a very good finish from him. Gr3 3rd, Alex Rogers 2nd, and Lemon Pen in a very solid 1st place with a 4-second gap over 2nd place as he heads towards the start-finish line to start the final lap.
Yeah, comfortable drive there from Lemon Pen. What else can you, what did you say? Well, just other than making the pass on Dan's when he needed to, and it looks like his 100% winning form will continue.
Lemon Pen definitely the one to beat here in Season 2, as if he holds this position for the rest of this lap, he will hold a win streak of 2 races, and it will be his 3rd win in Tier A. I do believe you're the stats guy.
Let me bring it up for you. The answer will be... Yes, and he will be the most winningest driver in Tier A.
Would that be a tie for most winningest?
No, he'll be leading with most wins. There was actually a 3-way tie going into this race. Alex Rogers, Rubens, and himself were tying with 2 wins. So Lemon Pen with this win will be his 3rd win, and he will be the most winningest driver in Tier A.
There you go. Statistically, the most dominant driver in Tier A if he manages to hold on to that 1st place. The gap did fall to 3.6 now, so possibly Alex definitely pushing within this last lap, but it won't be enough as he heads now towards the last corner. Panasonic showing an absolute masterclass here at Fuji. Battled for 4th cars at the beginning of the race and managed to take the lead and has held it ever since. As he heads towards the start-finish line, we will see Lemon Pen take his 2nd win of the season and will extend his points lead here at Fuji. Alex Rogers finishing 2nd. Alex Rogers will finish 2nd, and the Season 1 champion Gr3 will finish in a very strong 3rd place. Gr3 will come home.
Flashes the light. It's there. Yeah, he's stabbing. Look at the battle for 6th, though. Kev Meister and PK. They're side by side, but no. PK will hold on to that 7th.
Will he? Will it go side by side? Kev will squeeze him, but he won't get it. Kev will hold 6th place ahead of PKMZ in 7th. Thomas Mr. Teethy will finish 8th in a very quiet race for him. And again for 9th, as we see Defcon and Chill Nom Nom in a solid 9th and 10th respectively, but PG Vopro way back, so possibly a very big mistake from PG Vopro as he looks like he might be heading into the pits on his last lap. No, he will not.
I hope not.
No, he will not. Looking back now towards Defiant, who will finish 12th in the Lexus RCF, with Matt Wing in 13th and Dark Reef Slark driving a very quiet race in 14th.
Still trying to get the handling of the steering now. We didn't see a lot of Dark Reef, but hopefully we'll see him later in the season.
Dark Reef still struggling with his internet, and hopefully he can get that worked out towards the latter half of the season. But very good drive from everyone here in Tier A. congratulations to Lemon Pen for scoring his second win of the season and continuing that win streak.
Most of loads of drivers getting penalties there. Dirty people. Well, that was certainly more entertaining than watching the Chinese Grand Prix.
All right. Thank you for joining us for the race. We'll be right back, hopefully with some driver interviews. Don't go anywhere. Alright, hello, I am joined here by Kobu GT. Kobu GT, are you here?
Hey, what's going on?
Let me just turn down your volume here a bit. There we go. Kobu GT, a very strong finish for you here at Fuji. We know you were looking forward to this track. Congratulations on your 4th position.
Thank you, thank you.
Much better finish than your result at Dragon Trail after you made a mistake at the exit of the Kraken. Caused you to fall back down the field. You had a very close battle with PKMZ throughout most of the race.
Yeah, I noticed that PK was starting to fall off on his tires, so my biggest thing was that I needed to ensure that I stuck with him until he fell off far enough that I can just pass him by. And once I got past him, his tires were just gone, and I could just pull away from there.
We saw you struggling possibly a bit in qualifying with the rear end of that BMW M6. Very slippery car there at Fuji.
Yeah, a little bit. I've driven it once before, and I kind of liked it. It's better under tuning, but you know, you get what you can get with a boat like the BMW.
Okay, so the next race on the calendar, if I can see if I can get that up here. So excuse me, but the next race on the calendar. You looking forward to it?
What's the next race again?
I'd have to pull it up here. I only have so much screen space here. Let's see if I can find it here. Excuse me for this. Let's see.
Suzuka.
Suzuka? Okay.
Right. Okay. So Suzuka, that's like, besides Bathurst, Suzuka is probably one of my better tracks. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that one.
Alright, well we hope to see you there at Suzuka, and good luck to you in the next round.
Awesome, thanks.
Alright, Alex Rogers, are you here?
Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Hello Alex, congratulations on your 2nd place finish today after a pole position. Very strong race for you at Fuji after what many would consider not a very strong track for the Porsche.
Yeah, so I was surprised that we were on pole. That was a bit of a shock. I thought a couple of people might have been dipping into the 36s, but I'm really happy with it. Yeah, I could have maybe gone quicker on my last lap, but I messed it up just a pad. But anyway, and so I just gave up. But the race was awesome. The Porsche was poor getting away again, like it always is. So we were down in 4th at the beginning, and then I had a battle with PK, which dropped us about 3 to 4 seconds behind Dan's and Lemon. And from there, it was just trying to catch up with those guys, really. They were so quick, it was really hard to try and get back up to where they were. Lemon in particular. The Aston was great, like, until the tyres went off, and then it was just kind of a case of waiting to the straight and just drafting it until you could get past it, sort of thing. But yeah, the Lexus was really strong, really tough to catch up to.
We saw you battling.
Super happy. Second. Sorry, go on that.
We saw you battling a lot with Dane's 303 for that 2nd place after he took the lead from you at the start of the race. What was that like battling with him back and forth?
But yeah, it was great. I mean, I'm glad he went into the pits when he did on the first stint, because otherwise that could have held us up further. But I was quite surprised that on the 2nd stint his tyres went off just as quick as they did. So I think I caught up to him maybe 5-6 laps maybe, or something like that. I can't quite remember. But yeah, the move I pulled on him, I I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I found myself on the outside of that really awkward chicane. I was a bit like, I'm kind of halfway through an overtake here without really realizing what was going on. Just had to carry up. Yeah, I just sort of had to hold on and made it stick, and then got away from him. It was great fun though, man. Like I had great fun with Dan's last race as well. Even though we were slightly further down the pack, like you can always trust Dan to have a great race. So it was really good fun.
All right. Well, some good points for the Porsche team here. With your teammate finishing 8th place and you finishing 2nd, you definitely move up in the constructors' points, especially after that your finish at Dragon Trail. Not a very good race for you. Your worst finish of the season was at Dragon Trail. But you looking forward to Suzuka, the next race?
Yeah, I am looking forward to Suzuka. I don't know if it'll suit the Porsche as much as I'm hoping it will. But I guess we'll find that out during the week when we go through testing and stuff like that. The Porsche's like really good on tyre wear. You can tell towards the end of stints that you're just catching like so much. So yeah, given it's quite a windy circuit and it's quite reliant on sort of mid-speeds, carrying speed through them mid-speed corners, I think we could be okay there. I was surprised at the pace here. I thought we might be battling for 4th and 5th. So if we carry the same speed through to Suzuka, we might be looking good, but we'll see. I won't get too confident yet.
All right, well, good luck at the next round.
Thank you.
All right, Lemon Pen, are you here? Hello, Lemon Pen. Okay, we'll move on. Oh, there you are. Okay. Congratulations on another win and setting the current record for the most winningest driver in Tier A.
Oh, yeah, crazy title.
Your 2nd win of the season in that Lexus. You must be enjoying the Lexus this season.
Yeah, can't doubt that. But this is a different feeling from last week because I didn't expect to get the win today. Right, at all. I thought Dan's was too quick for me. I thought Alex was going to cause me some real problems, which he looked like he was going to do for a long period of that race with his tyre wear and stuff. So fair play to him, you know. He has got that bad start to deal with, but yeah, I'm happy I got the win.
We saw at the start of the race, it was a very close battle for between 1st and 4th. Can you explain what was going through your head at the start of the race?
The start of the race, I noticed Dan's would have been able to pull away, and PK made a mistake, I think lap 2, 3 it was. But after that I decided to just sit behind Dan and not go for a move on him because I knew it was pointless. He'd just catch back up on the straight, so I sort of figured save some fuel. If he makes a mistake I'll go for the move, but other than that, you know, I just decided to sit behind him. Eventually he did, I think he messed up a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
After that it was a breeze, I think.
All right, the next race is Suzuka. How are you looking forward to that?
I'm looking forward to it a lot more than I did this one, which I don't know what that says, but yeah, I think it should be a good track, I think, for the Lexus. I'm hoping so.
All right, well, congratulations on your win today and winning the Driver of the Day vote.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck on the next race.
Cheers, lad.
All right, CRubennnn, are you here? Hello, CRubennnn. Okay, we will move on to Chilled Nom Nom. Are you here?
Hello.
Hello, Chilled Nom Nom.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We saw earlier on in the race you made a fantastic triple pass into turn 1, but latter half of the race, latter half of the lap, you made a mistake, went wide, and spun the car around. And throughout the rest of the race, you were battling with DEFCON AC and PG Vopro for around that 10th position. Would you say today, how do you feel like today went?
Fuji's one of those tracks that you need to get in the groove on, and I don't feel like I ever got into that groove. Yeah, that mistake on the big turn 4, whatever the turn is, sort of set the tone for the race. I think it kind of annoyed me. But the battling is good. I'm still learning. and you can only learn when you're, you know, battling with people close on the track. So it's not the best result. I think I could have been higher, definitely, as this is a strong Aston track. My qualifying didn't help. I definitely feel like I messed that up. I mean, I lost 0.6 on my final lap, so it all just sort of started from there, to be honest.
Right, but we did see you throughout most of the race, roughly within the middle of the field. You did move up a couple positions on the start, so you are definitely seem to be learning the Aston Martin. Do you feel like the car is suiting you this season, though?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. There's a bit of connection issue.
Do you feel the Aston Martin is suiting you this season?
I do believe that it is suiting me. I think the understeer is what I like, as I said before last week.
Alright, well, excuse me, we have to be having a couple of connection issues here with Discord. So we'll wait and see if we can come back, and hopefully Discord will sort itself out. Give us a few moments here. Alright, well, it does not seem that Discord wants to cooperate right now. I'm sorry for not being able to finish the driver interviews. But thank you for joining us for Season 2 here, Race 2, Season 2 here at Fuji Speedway. It was an excellent race, and we hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, follow our Twitch, and we hope to see you next round for Suzuka. Thank you all for joining, and remember, keep racing.